Welcome! This is Records Roundup number 69. Welcome, thank you for joining me once again. Lots to show you, all albums I think today. I've actually got more albums, more LPs than what I'm going to show you here today, but I'm saving a bunch behind for a special themed edition of Records Roundup 70. And no, before you ask, it's not New Order and related. They're all separate videos that you've been seeing over the course of the last month or so. This is completely different, so look out for that. And it should be along fairly quickly as well in July. See what the theme is and see all the lovely stuff I've got to show you. So I've sorted out the other stuff that I wanted to show you in this edition, number 69. Let's get cracking with it. And we'll start with 3 pickups from Asai Records in Glasgow. And 2 of these are from this year's Record Store Day. So yes, I'm still getting RSD stuff. These weren't on offer, and I've also got another Record Store Day record to show you later. At least one. And I think it is just one more. These were full price, but I was kind of on the fence about them when they were first announced, and then when I placed my orders online at Vinyl Tap and iMusic around the date of Record Store Day, I decided not to go for these. But then I read somewhere, rather more recently, that the artist who I'm going to show you these 2 albums from, his first 2 solo albums, all of his solo albums are going to be released, apparently, by Dark Horse Records on this particular Zoetrope picture disc format. Have you guessed who it is yet? Of course, I'm talking about George Harrison. This is technically what is his debut solo album, Wonderwall Music. So this was a soundtrack to a film called Wonderwall, which I've never seen. It was out on Apple Records originally. And it's my very first Zoetrope picture disc. So as you know, I'm a big Beatles fan, but the stuff that I've got from solo Beatles is quite few and far between. You know, I've got the odd single here and there from Paul McCartney, from Wings, but I've never really been inclined to properly collect any of the Beatles solo stuff. But when I heard that the intentions, and you know, with the best of intentions, these things always pan out, but the intention is for all of George Harrison's solo work to be released in this Zoetrope format here, starting with these 2 Record Store Day releases. I thought, you know, that'd be a really nice way to get George Harrison's albums all on this sort of fancy format. I've not listened to this, obviously you can tell as it's still sealed. The price at Asai was, I think it was under 30 for this and for the next one. I want to get this open and have a little bit of a closer look at the disc. But with it being Zoetrope, even I'm not going to really see the effect of it unless I either get a strobe light or one of those strobe apps that you can get on your smartphones now. But I will get the disc out briefly just to give you a closer look and also show you the other side. So it's really nice and attractive there. I was on the fence about Wonderwall Music and the next one as well, because in the George Harrison canon they're considered quite experimental, dare I say even self-indulgent, but it's difficult because they've all done good solo work, and you know, they've probably all done some dodgy solo stuff as well. But out of the 4 individual Beatles, I think probably George Harrison is the one who I would like to have the most albums of. I've been threatening to get a copy of All Things Must Pass for years now, so presumably that's going to be the next one out in this range. Not sure when. Hopefully it'll be announced soon if it hasn't been already. But I'll be certainly looking to pick that up on Zoetrope picture disc. So that one is Wonderwall Music, and inevitably also I got Electronic Sound, which is only a 2-track album, I believe. Yes, it was $28.99. Look, there's a price sticker on that one. So yeah, just one long track on each side. On the Zapple label originally. These are Dark Horse Records reissues. And I'm just really excited to start building a George Harrison collection this way, really. So while if it was just these 2 as a one-off release, I may not have bothered. Look at the back there as well. Knowing that there's the intention for all his subsequent proper solo albums to come out on Zoetrope, then yeah, I thought, why not? I was about to say these sides look identical. They're not. They're very similar, but this one's obviously got more red on it. Yeah, lovely stuff. I like a picture disc anyway. Zoetrope is a bit of a gimmick for obvious reasons, because it's actually quite tricky to see the effect in its full glory, as it were. These will be nice display items as well, really. I've got my Beatles picture discs displayed over there, and I think these will look nice with them as well. So that was the George Harrison Record Store Day issues, but also I got from Asai an album that I wasn't in a desperate rush for, but it was a fairly good price at Asai. It was well under 20, it might have been under 15 actually. And it just adds to a collection that I seem to be building up over time, and it is an album from Bananarama. It is the reissue of Please Yourself. It's on white vinyl, I think, and it's one of the reissue editions that also comes with the CD that replicates the album, and it's got like 12-inch extended versions and possibly some remixes on as well. So they're good value for money, these Bananarama reissues, if you're into Bananarama, of course, and I am. I don't want to get any of their current or later stuff. In fact, this is probably going to be the most recent Bananarama album that I'll want for my collection. I'll treat this a bit like Madonna, really, where at a certain point in the career I'll just stop collecting, really, because I've got no interest after, you know, a certain point. But this was the first album, I believe, where it was just the duo of Sarah and I've forgotten the name. It's on screen. Karen. That's it. We'll get this open for a quick look. The CD, I think, will just come in a plain clear wallet, as when I bought Deep Sea Skiving, which was also from Asai, the CD in that came in a clear plain wallet. I also got Wow, that album from, I think that was around 87, from HMV. That was on white vinyl. It was an HMV exclusive. It didn't come with a CD, but that was fine. So, inner there. Yeah, I can feel the CD in them. Just being careful not to tip it out onto the floor. There's the disc. Very nice. And the album plus mixers on CD. Yep, there we are. Excellent. Everything's come as it should. So Bananarama wise, there's still, out of the ones in this reissue series, there's still, what is it, 3 that I need? One of them I have got on order somewhere, but it needs to come back in stock, and I'm in no rush for it. So even though I think I can pick it up elsewhere and it's in stock at a similar price, I'm just going to wait, because I made the order ages ago. I'm going to wait for it to come back in stock. And then there's the self-titled album, Bananarama, which I think was their second album. I'm going to be looking for that, but it's a collection I'm not in any great rush to complete, and as I say, it won't be totally complete anyway, because after Please Yourself, I'm not particularly interested in any more of their work. But never say never. That is Bananarama and Please Yourself. The next album is from a record shop up in Liverpool that I've been really enjoying using and buying from recently. I've bought quite a bit from them. I'm talking about Dig Vinyl up in the northwest of England. And this was actually an order with 2 other records, but one of them was a 12-inch single by Electronic, which I will have shown you in the last New Order related or New Order spin-offs singles haul. There was an album there as well, but record haul. And the third item was an album that is part of what I want to show you in the themed records roundup 70. So I'm just going to show you this one here today out of this order of 3, but it's another one for the Monty Python collection, and it is Monty Python's Contractual Obligation album. I believe their final studio album, proper studio album. I know They did the soundtrack for Meaning of Life, and they recorded bits for other things subsequently. Yeah, this is, I think, an original pressing or thereabouts. Very cheap at Dig In. It was under £5, this. And it's come in nice condition. I have no complaints whatsoever. Just a little look at the vinyl as it's open anyway, but it is just standard black as you'd expect. I think it's the original inner. Yes, it will be. It's got all this fake writing on. That was something else I said recently. I would like to get all the other Monty Python vinyl albums that I don't have now. I've got a mixture of them as originals or more recent reissues, and one of them I've got is an American import as well. So I don't really mind which I collect with Python, really. If I can find an original and it's dirt cheap, then great. And I think I may have got all the reissues now anyway. Anything else that I want wouldn't have been reissued, and I need to buy an older copy anyway. So, yep, very happy to have got that one, the Contractual Obligation album from those lads in Monty Python.
I bet you they won't play this song on the radio. I bet you they won't play this new song. It's not that it's or controversial, just that the ing words are awfully strong. You can't say on the radio or you can't even say I'd like to you someday, unless you're a doctor with a very large. So I bet you they won't play this song on the radio. I bet you they dare well program it. I bet you they're old program directors who'll think it's a load of horse.
On now to what are 4 impulse purchases really, all from Resident Music in Brighton. I've not used them in a little while, but every so often they come out with a really good sale, and it's basically half price off some really good stuff. All this stuff here, the next 4 albums, were all half price. One of them is a Record Store Day release from this year as well that I had no interest in, believe it or not, and you'll be surprised when you see who the artist is. But I wasn't going to bother, and I'll explain why later on, but at half price I thought, you know what, I am going to get that. Right, first one from Resident is this one from DMX, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. So I started collecting DMX of a fashion. I bought 2 of his albums from Asai a few months back because they were cheap, and similar case with this. I'm into gangster rap / hardcore hip hop, whatever you might want to call it, but I wasn't in any rush to sort of, you know, get as many of DMX's studio albums as possible, and I'm still not in a rush particularly, but as this was half price, it's a 2 LP set as well. Resident have opened, I think, 3 of these records already. They are brand new, but Resident have opened them and they separated them out when they sent them. But this is black vinyl, I'm not going to fuss too much about showing you. There we go. I've not heard anything on here. I think it's his 2nd studio album. I don't know how many more I'm missing, 2, maybe 3, possibly. I couldn't tell you. There's also a compilation out that I have seen on a reduction, but I'm not particularly wanting that, at least not at the moment. So all I can say really, looking forward to giving this one a spin. DMX, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood.
Homes and institutions, prepare my ass for jail. They put me in a situation forcing me to be a man when I was just learning to stand without a helping hand. Damn, was it my fault? Something I did to make a father leave his first kid at 7 doing my first bid. Back on the scene at 14 with a scheme to get more green than I'd ever seen in a dream. And by all means, I will be living high off the hog. And I never gave a fuck about much but my dog. That's the only motherfucker I'd head off in my last. Just another little nigga headed nowhere fast. Hey yo, I'm slipping. I'm falling, I can't get up. Hey yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. Hey yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I got to get up. Get back on my feet so I can tear shit up. Hey yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. Hey yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. Hey yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I got to get up. Get back on my feet so I can tear shit up.
Okay, the next one is from a band who I collected every studio album they had. That was last year, I think. I managed to get that collection done relatively rapidly. And this is a compilation from them that I've seen around and about occasionally, and I always said if I saw it on a good enough discount, I'll get it just for the collection. But I'm talking about the later years, 1987 to 2019, by Pink Floyd. Another 2 LP set, heavy one this as well, but it'll be heavyweight vinyl, knowing Pink Floyd. So yeah, this is kind of like a sampler almost for their later years box set, which came out a few years ago on CD, I think it was. Not a best of or a greatest hits really, it's just got sort of different versions of some of their most famous tracks from this later period. An example, for instance, there's something called Marooned Jam from the Division Bell sessions, which might be an exclusive, well, to the album and to the big box set. Lost for Words, Pulse Tour Rehearsal. Lost for Words did eventually end up on the Endless River. Comfortably Numb live at Nebworth 1990, I do have that live album. High Hopes early version. Yeah, so there's some kind of, you know, mixes and demo versions and stuff here, live stuff. On the Turning Away 2019 remix. On the Turning Away is my favourite Pink Floyd song. I won't get the vinyl out again just to keep this video chugging along. But yeah, half price, this would have ended up being less than 20, I think. So, you know, when you can get a double Pink Floyd album for that price, brand new, you might as well snap it up, I say. And I did, and there is the later years by Pink Floyd.
Into the distance, a ribbon of black, stretched to the point of no turning back. The flight of fancy on a windswept field, standing alone, my senses reel. A fatal attraction is holding me fast. How can I escape this irresistible grasp? Gotta keep my eyes from the circling sky, tongue-tied and twisted, just when earthbound is high.
The next two are from the same group, and although they're impulsive purchases, you know, regular viewers know that I've been collecting this group an awful lot over the past few months, certainly since I would say late last year when I began with their mono colour box set. An absolutely brilliant set that is. Of course, I'm talking about the Rolling Stones, and as this was half price, I decided to get it from Resident. It is Big Hits, High Tide and Green Grass. So this is the American reissue. It came out in a different cover and with different track listing in the UK. I like a good Stones compilation. Metamorphosis is a really good compilation. That would have come out originally probably about 10 years after this, but this one is kind of like an original 60s compilation, but reissued obviously. I think there's a colour vinyl variant for this and for the UK edition out there, but this one just standard black vinyl because it was such a good price. I thought, why not? For some reason, Resident decided not to unseal this one. I can't actually tell you what the tracks are on it, but it's easy to go and look it up. It's basically a lot of their stuff from the 60s. I'm not entirely sure. There'll be Stones nuts out there who are very familiar with this album and, of course, the UK version of it. Do I want the UK version as well? No, because it'd be too similar. I didn't massively want this, but it was half price. I can't resist a bargain, and I'm a Stones collector, I'm a Stones fan, so it goes in the Stones collection. So that's Big Hits, High Tide and Green Grass. But also from the Stones, and if you cast your mind back a few minutes ago, I did say that I had another Record Store Day 2024 release to show you. Well, it is by the Stones, and it's this one, Live at Racket NYC. So this would have ended up costing me, this was under 15, I think, half price from Resident. When I saw this on the release list for Record Store Day this year, I wasn't interested because I think at that point I had got the Rolling Stones Live at El Macambo box set, and as far as Stones Live was concerned, that's really all I needed. But as I just said, I do love a good bargain, and this album, it's not a very long one, as you can see. It's more like a mini album really. I think there's only 7 tracks on it, but you know, half price, and it's coloured vinyl as well. I will get it out and show you briefly. Racket at NYC is like a nightclub type venue sort of place in New York City, obviously. Yeah, another white record there. And the Stones did some sort of little intimate gig there to mainly promote their most recent album, Hackney Diamonds, but there is, I think, 1 or 2 tracks that are older. Obviously there is, because Jumping Jack Flash is one of them, and hopefully I'll play you a clip of that in a moment. Oh, I've just realised there's something else in here. Oh, look at that. Comes with a facsimile of the original set list. That's nice. I completely forgot it came with that. Lady Gaga appeared for the encore and for Sweet Sounds of Heaven, which is a good single actually. I prefer Angry, but as a follow-up single from Hackney Diamonds, I did enjoy it. This was released originally, this live mini album, on like a special 2 CD set of Hackney Diamonds, but for Record Store Day it got standalone vinyl reissue. I suppose a little bit like how I showed you Suede's Auto Fiction live in a previous Records Roundup. That live recording had originally come on the expanded Auto Fiction reissue CD, and then Record Store Day was just a good excuse to give it a standalone vinyl issue. And it's the same with this. Looking forward to that one. Won't take long to listen to, as it's a pretty short album all told. Rolling Stones live at Racket.
I was born in a crossfire hurricane, and I howl of my mom in the driving rain. But it's alright now, in fact it's a gas. But it's alright, my jumping jack flash, it's a gas, gas, gas. Come on. I was raised by two disappearing heads.
And finally, there's a mail opening to do. Woohoo! I'm saying woohoo, I'm really excited about this. It's a reissue, it's an album I already got on CD, but with this particular act, and you'll know this from a certain video that came out a matter of days ago that I've been doubling up. So let's get this open. It came via FedEx today, and it is from Music on Vinyl. It's the first thing I've ever bought from Music on Vinyl's store direct, which is based in the Netherlands. Just figuring out the best way of opening this. The price of it's 30 something, and then postage was a little bit high. They charge about £9 postage, but you know, all in all I think it was £40 all in. Oh yeah. So it is the long-awaited, at least in this house, reissue of Music for Pleasure by Monaco. If you saw my recent New Order spin-offs collection filler video, then I don't really need to explain who Monaco are again, but very briefly, Peter Hook from New Order, David Potts, who was in Revenge, another New Order spin-off briefly. This was their debut album from '97. I saw them on tour, touring this album in Sheffield. Great gig. And this was announced that they were reissuing Music for Pleasure, Music for Vinyl as well. I do like their reissues. I've got a lot of stuff, particularly in the Eurodance vein, from Music on Vinyl, which is understandable because they're based in the Netherlands. They're a Dutch company essentially, and Eurodance was quite big over there in Holland. This is out on 2 LP orange vinyl. I will get this open and show you. And it's an expanded edition as well, so there's like B-sides and a couple of mixes on it, which I've got probably all of them, I would have thought, duplicated now anyway, since I bought all those Monaco singles the other day. So I think this is a gatefold. Yes it is. Very nice. Ooh, I had my head near a man's arse there. Yeah, that is a mat. Yeah, it is, yeah. Although, you know, not there's anything wrong with it, you know. Horses for courses, as my old nan would have said. I don't know what I'm on about here. Alright, a look at this disc here. There's two discs, they're both the same colour. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's a little bit dull today, and I've got my light on, so hopefully it's going to look a little more orangey in editing, or after editing. But certainly me standing behind it here, it just looks like a bold red, really. But yeah, I think on camera it's coming out a bit more orangey already. Very nice. Excellent. It seemed to come at random, really, this announcement that a Monaco album was getting reissued on vinyl. It did have a vinyl issue originally back in '97, but if you look on Discogs at the prices of it, then you can see why plenty of people were keen for there to be a reissue. There we are. I'm going to put it back in its adhesive protective sleeve, which I don't like. I never really do like those for music on vinyl, but they send them. It's just their thing, really. I'll put that back in later. There we go. That finishes off Records Roundup 69 today. The reissue of Music for Pleasure by Monaco.
So leave me alone. I just wanna stay here at home, so far away from whatever some might say or some might do. Just as I thought, I found someone that needs me, someone that needs me so much. And just as before, it's that someone who needs me, someone I needed so much.
There we go. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed Records Roundup number 69. Like I say, Records Roundup 70, it's going to be a special edition, themed, and if you've been keeping your eye on the channel this month so far, you might actually be able to hazard a guess what the theme is. So let me know in the comments if you think you know. That should be coming along pretty soon, actually, because I've not a lot more I'm waiting for that particular video to be able to make it, really. So I'll hopefully get that scheduled not too long after you're watching this one. But in the meantime, I want to say special thanks to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for Records Roundup number 70 and any other music and record collecting video that I may make. Cheers, everyone. See ya!